All right, guys, it is 8 o'clock. We are streaming right now in the Slay Squad meeting room, and I'm so excited to be here with you guys tonight. This has been such a special, let me just make sure I can. This has been such a special night for me over the last few, I guess now months. My team and I joined you guys in August, and I just know for myself, having access to so many incredible speakers and being able to come together as a team is just, it takes a weight off of all of us, and then it also collectively exposes us to really, really great stuff. Connection for me is one of my absolute favorite things about building a business with you guys, and but being a coach, about going to events, which I miss so much, about doing these programs. So this is just a privilege to be able to finally, present and really share what's been on my heart as a coach. So just to get started, I want to introduce myself to those of you guys who we haven't met before. My name is Chelsea Pearson, and I have been coaching for, has it been 9 years? 9 years. So since I was 21, I was a coach. I lost 50 pounds with Beachbody programs as a customer before I became a coach, and I really kind of grew up and cut my teeth in my 20s as an entrepreneur and a coach on social media. And there's so many different seasons that you go through in your business when you've been coaching that long. And so what's interesting is if you guys have been around for as long as I have, or, a version of that, you have seen how your business and social media and the culture and society in general has transformed so much. The way that we connect on Instagram stories, the comments, the way that we're able to use bod groups and Zoom and work out together. With that comes a lot of benefits, but also a lot of costs and a lot of challenges. And what I found is that, in just as kind of a commentary on like life right now, not going to get political, I'm not going to take us into a negative space, but if you go into the comment section of any celebrity's Twitter post, or talk any documentary thread, or an article pops up in your news feed, or even like just something that seems so harmless, it seems to get all of this really strong conviction behind it. And I know that when I was first starting off as a coach, there wasn't as much connection, which has a downside because you don't feel as connected. It's easier for us to feel like we are, working out alongside each other, but we didn't have to deal with that. And so now when it comes to building your business, and honestly, when it comes to building your body, building your faith, building the strength of your family, your peace, whatever it is that you're in pursuit of, you really do have to learn how to mind your business. And for me, that was something that I really struggled with as a people pleaser, and as somebody who really wants to do the right thing, the responsible thing, and struggles with my own instinct. If you guys are familiar with the Enneagram, I'm a type 6. And so 6s very often, like, they're just looking for something that's secure. And so I really, really struggled in my business all last year, trying to figure out the right way to do things, and the right way to post, and the right way to coach, and the right way to set goals. And it was absolutely exhausting. It was crippling. It was the reason my team and I were not elite. It was the reason why I was not finding joy in my business. I was looking outside myself for the right way to run my business. And hopefully not a lot of you guys can relate to that, because you're in a sweet spot in your business, or you're just getting started. And I don't ever want you to be in that place. But I know that some of you can relate when you look at the way that other people coach, or the way that something you suggested on a national wake-up call, maybe it's not for you. Maybe that just doesn't fit. And so what I want to encourage you to do tonight, and I'm going to teach you the tools that totally transform the way that I was able to show up and strategize and look at my business and not take things personally and not let the comment section or, you know, my neighbor's opinion or my dad's opinion or my old boss's opinion, or honestly, even some of my own coach's opinions. These tools helped me to put my blinders on. And these tools are helping me through a tumultuous time right now in our world. And so I want to pass these on to you guys in the hopes that you can really start to strengthen the tools that you can use to really truly mind your business. And then I'm going to be kind of breaking down how you can specifically apply this into building your diamond or building your business to diamond and beyond. So let me pull up, sorry guys. Okay. All right, so mind your business. Let's move on. I don't know if you guys have heard of the model. It's not like Kendall Jenner or Christy Turlington or Giselle Bundchen. The model is by far the most game-changing thing that I have ever learned when it comes to minding my business, minding my marriage, minding my mindset, minding it all. And I have the amazing Brooke Castillo of the Life Coach School podcast to thank for this concept that I believe she learned from a few gurus along the way. I know that for some of you guys, you are familiar with Brooke. I had been listening to Brooke's podcast for about 3 years before I actually went and hired myself a life coach that kind of studied under this concept. It has been the greatest investment in myself and my business in probably 3 or 4 years. And the coach that I work with actually helps me use the model. You don't need to have a coach to go through this stuff, but I really needed to kind of excavate some thoughts and work on some things with her. But the concept behind the model is this: we are only responsible for our own thoughts, feelings, actions, and results. So you guys have heard that when it comes to your business, you've heard that you have to take ownership, you have to, control the controllable, send out a certain number of invites. It doesn't matter what other people think. For the way that I work, and you may be the same way, like just hearing someone say, don't worry about what other people think, or just control the controllable, or, just keep your eyes on your own paper and don't worry about your coaches until your business activity tracker is completed. I was that kid, and I still am that kid that always asks, but why, but why, but why? Like, I can't just absorb something that Jen Sincero says from You Are a Badass. Like, I need to understand why. And this has helped me understand why. So the model is just another term for like a formula. It is a model where you can kind of plug and play all these different little elements about your business or your marriage or your life, your thoughts, your feelings into this, and you're able to kind of make sense of it and gain control of it again. So the circumstance line, or the C line, because of the letter C, that right there is the only thing that is neutral. Our circumstances are our circumstances. I have blonde hair, I am married. If my husband was to come up here and we were to get into an argument, the circumstance would be husband says words to me. Facts are neutral. They are things that happened. And from that place, so when we're talking specifically about your business, a circumstance is I am an emerald, or I was a diamond, or I'm at Success Club Zero, or I am not an elite coach yet, or, it's something that is so stripped of all the emotional stuff that we can really analytically look at what is the actual circumstance. Now, the thought line is where we start to gain control and we get to make a decision. And very often we don't realize that we have control over this. We think that the 60,000 thoughts that are racing through our brains subconsciously and consciously are out of our control. And that's just how we are, and that's just how it is, and that's just what it means. And chances are you're having a thought if it's kind of like a sentence that you run through your brain. And so from your thoughts about a circumstance, you feel a feeling. Now, the feeling line is a one-word description. So it's angry, disappointed, inadequate, frustrated, joyful, ambitious. It's a one-word descriptor. The second you start to say like, oh, I just feel like I can't do this because and it becomes a long sentence, or I feel like I should just be further along because I signed up 3 years ago and all my coaches quit, that becomes a thought. All those sentences are thoughts. Once we have a thought, that thought creates a feeling. And then from that feeling, we take action. So for those of you guys who've done Tony Robbins or any sort of personal development, you know, or you're somewhat aware of the concept of what we make things mean is everything, right? There are people who, I think about coaches who, coached for 6 years and their account got canceled, or they decided to cancel, and then they sign back up and they hit diamond in their first month and they have amazing momentum and they decide, you know what? It's finally my time. I'm going to do this. I love this. I was brought back to this company. I'm going to crush it. And then they do, because they make it mean experience and excitement and connection and loyalty. And then there are coaches who make a few years of struggling or just not being able to prioritize this business, make it mean something about them. Like, this business doesn't work, or this industry isn't for me, or maybe I'm just not cut out for this. And all those two, parallel thoughts create different feelings, which create different actions, which create different results. So if you guys want to learn a little bit more about this, I highly recommend dive into the Life Coach School podcast. There are hundreds of episodes for free that, like, truly you could take years to really dig in and understand this stuff. But episode number 27 really breaks down the model. And the reason that I'm starting with this is because when it comes to inviting and when it comes to, building up the confidence to send out invitations or to show up on social media or to read a comment from a friend or a family member or hear something or have something just cross your feed or cross your mind that totally derails you or frustrates you or diverts your focus from minding your business and doing what you know you have to do, I want you guys to be equipped and empowered with the knowledge that you have 100% control over what you make things mean and what you think about them. And I think more than ever, right now, we have to be thinking for ourselves and thinking productively. Now, I know when somebody says something about, so let's just say somebody was to say to me, yeah, Chelsea, you have blue hair. You have crazy blue hair. Or I was to hear somebody talk about me or read a comment about somebody saying that I had blue hair. That would not affect me. I would look at them kind of sideways and probably move on and think that there was something wrong with them. Now, the reason that somebody saying that I have blue hair doesn't affect me is because I know what I think about my hair. My hair is a circumstance. It's not blue, it's blonde. The problem is with them. And as people, or friends or family or team members make comments or take actions, decide to cancel, decide to try a new workout program, decide to, ghost you when you're messaging them and right about to, completely close your enrollment and hit Success Club, we make that mean something because we're not intentionally thinking, I have blonde hair. We're thinking, you know what? Maybe they're right. Maybe this means I can't do this. Maybe this means whatever. Now, I want to show you guys specifically in my back office how I mind my business. So when I talk about the model, I have control over my thoughts, my feelings, my actions. I have control over my orders. I have control over if I join team calls. I have control over if I join the National Wake Up Call. I have control over if I sign up for Summit, sign up for Success Club, qualify for leadership. This is a picture of my coach, Lindsay. I love using her because she always makes me happy, and I don't have any control over her. Even though she is coachable, even though she is committed, even though she is a member of my team, she's a diamond on my team, I have no more control over her thoughts, her feelings, her actions, or her results than I do of somebody who signed up and then canceled, or somebody who said they were going to sign up and didn't, or somebody who I would think would be an amazing coach on my team, or somebody, who was a challenger in my challenge group. We don't get to be in other people's models. And I was talking to my coach about this because she's a coach, and she is compensated differently than us because, she charges by the hour, and our compensation plan is obviously different. We pour a lot of time into our business so that later on we are not bound by time, and we're paid far beyond the number of hours that we put into our business. And I said to her, as a coach, I really struggle with the fact that I sometimes define my worth or my success based on the outcome of other people. So Lindsay, for example, and guys, I do this too if I don't intentionally catch myself and engage in productive thinking, but especially the first, honestly, 3 or 4 years that I was a coach, I looked at every single person that signed up on my team as a direct reflection of how competent I was and how capable I was. And I know that there's someone on this call right now who had someone cancel, or who had someone say they wanted to push for Emerald, or say they wanted to do 30-day breakaway, or say that they were committed to Success Club, and then they ghosted you. And instead of understanding that they're in their own model, we make it mean something about us. And so I said to her, how do you wrap your head around that when you can actually control the results of the people on your team, right? Because we talk a lot about how we want to serve other people. We want to serve our coaches and our customers and get them results. That's what Beachbody is about, is getting people results. But we have no control over if they actually think the thoughts that make them feel the feelings, that make them do the things that get them to press play or to show up in their business. And what she said to me was, we're not responsible for our results. What we are responsible for is the value that we bring and the example that we set. So that's not to say that we're off the hook and you know what, she's going to do what she's going to do. Although I do firmly believe, I'm sure you guys have heard this saying, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. You can't say the right thing to the wrong person. Somebody who is going to show up will be successful. And so, there could be somebody who enrolls with you and you could give them all the tools of the number one coach with a number one training system, and they may not decide to. So there's it's a blurry area. But no matter what, I don't get to be in her model, and I get to decide what every cancellation, what every I'm sorry, I was busy, or message left unread means to me. So I want to walk you guys through what I see usually happens to my coaches who are at coach, emerald, diamond level, and they really have they have kind of figured out how to hit Success Club and start to build their business, but they haven't yet figured out that they have control over their thoughts, their feelings, and their actions. And this to me is one of the most important things to talk about, because tonight I am going to share with one of you guys the secret that totally changed things for me. It's only a mindset shift, but when you get permission, when you hear that what you're experiencing is normal, when you see what I'm about to show you of my own sponsorship drill down and my own coach online office, and you realize everything that you're doing is exactly what I'm doing, I may just be doing more of it longer, everything changes. So what usually happens is someone signs up. So you sign up as a coach, and then you sponsor your first coach. Then you sponsor your second coach. Now, you don't want to pressure your two coaches to stay active or to build a business, right? You tell them, this is about community. You can be a part of my challenge group. You can get a discount. Like, it's totally up to you. I'm not going to micromanage you. I'm not your boss. I mean, you guys know what we tell our coaches, and also the relationship that we want to uphold with our coaches. Now, this is a really important part. We also want our two coaches to stay active and to build a business. So that right there is something called cognitive dissonance. We have two thoughts that are in conflict. And so what happens is we feel the tension between not wanting to pressure our coaches and wanting to pressure our coaches. And then we take all of that personally, and we either stress out, or we stop, or we make it mean that this is too hard, or this is complicated, or I'm not cut out for this, or they hate me, or I'm not good at this, or they don't like this. Or, like, guys, I know this intimately because I've been in this spiral. And all this is what your upline, every single time they sign up a coach, they go through the exact same experience as you when you sign up a coach. The difference is the thoughts that they have about enrolling that coach. And if we have total control over our thoughts, it's like a muscle. We have to activate it. We have to engage in it daily. It's a daily work that, is not something we buy. It's something that we rent. And you can take the exact same things that you're doing right now that may not feel good. Remember, thoughts create feelings. Feelings create actions. Well, we can work our way back through that formula and actually create an ideal scenario so you feel incredible when you're enrolling your coaches, and you make it mean something that it actually means. So what ideally happens is that you sign up, and then you sponsor your first coach, and then you sponsor your second coach, and you don't micromanage them. And then you sponsor your third coach, and you sponsor your fourth coach, and you don't take it personally. And then you sponsor your fifth coach, and you sponsor your sixth coach, and you keep on going. Now, really quickly, I want to share with you guys the metaphor that has really helped me teach my coaches what it means every single month to model and not to manage. So this is a really great analogy because, especially with 30-day breakaway, I like to think about a track. And actually, Brittany Leggett is somebody who has really kind of shaped the way that I've done so much in my business because of her example. Her groups, and like many of you guys, your groups are monthly. So maybe there's a monthly new coach training, and there's a monthly challenge group. And so what you do, I want you to think about you're on a track and you're at the starting line, which is also the finish line, right? And so you've got a bunch of people who say that they want to run with you, right? This analogy is really good. They say they want to run with you, and some of them haven't really shown up yet. And you're waiting, and it's the beginning of the month, and they're about to fire. Carl's about to fire the gun, and the clock is about to, it's about to be the first. And people said they were going to be there, and they're not. And some people are there, but they're lacing up their shoes. And there are other people who are on the sidelines who are like, I really want to do this, but I don't know if I'm ready yet. And what ends up happening is, if you look at those coaches that you have or those challengers that you have in your group and you say, okay, I'm not going to go even when they fire the gun until everyone is there, what ends up happening is you don't run your race. You don't do what you set out to do and what you showed up to do. But because what we do reoccurs every single month, a new challenge group every month, or a new you don't even have to do every month. Let's just say every season, you have a new launch program that you do. And if people aren't ready to do it with you, or people aren't ready to start building their business, you start to run around the track. Now, they can see what you're doing. They can see you working. They can see you high-fiving. They can see you crushing it. They can see you stopping to tie your shoe and be human and be authentic and get back up. They can see other people in the stands cheering for you and deciding, hey, maybe I want to do this too, because we're consistently showing up on social media or having conversations. And then by the time that we get to the end of the track and the finish line, we're at the start again. And then maybe the person that had a crazy month before and had to go inactive or didn't show up yet or got a flat tire, I didn't make that flat tire stop my race. I didn't make that flat tire about me. I focused on me controlling my model, my thoughts, my feelings, my actions, and ultimately my results. And you know what? Maybe there were some people that maybe they got injured along the way, or they had, they were called to deal with something else, or they, the analogy can go on forever, but it could also go off the rails. But we're all doing the same vital behaviors, and we're all doing the same things. So when we go back to this PowerPoint, then I say, you sponsor your coach and you don't micromanage them. You sponsor your coach and you don't take it personally. You sponsor your coach and you keep on going. What I'm not saying is that you leave them in the dust, is that you keep running around that track. And if they're not ready this month to build their list or to start inviting or to post on social media, maybe they need to focus on their fitness. Maybe they need to focus on personal development. You keep running, and you don't need to push them. You don't need to drag them. You don't need to micromanage them. You don't need to make the flat tire that they got on the way that kept them from showing up at the start of the gun about you, because life is so much bigger than you and so much bigger than me. And I think that in our well-meaning, hearts, we project a lot of ourselves onto people that have a totally full life that aren't thinking about us as much as we think they are. So I want to show you guys one of my business centers. And so this is a business center that it's my newest one in this screenshot, and there's 16 coaches total, okay? Half of them are active and half of them are inactive. And as I counted them up, about 25% of them are Emerald rank, and about 75% of them are coach rank. Now, the reason I'm showing you guys this is I remember very early on in my coaching career, I was having a conversation with a superstar diamond, a million club earner, and I was beating myself up about how my team wasn't engaged and how I wasn't super proud of my business, and things were kind of falling apart and I had to do better. And she asked me how many of my coaches, like what I say, were active versus inactive. And I said, honestly, it's like every other coach is active. And I was cringing because in that moment, I'm like so embarrassed that I don't have something, something else to share with her, or something that I could share with her, because she had done so much for me. And I remember her looking at me and saying, that is awesome. 50% of your coaches are active. That is awesome. Now, maybe she was just encouraging me, but after that statement, we kept talking about how normal it is for people to pause their product, and how normal it is to switch things up or to delay things or to cancel, and how cool it is that our company doesn't force you to buy product. You don't have to, in order to keep your membership by a certain amount, you can delay things. And she made it mean something so much to me, and said, that's really cool that they trust you enough that they know. And back then, this was when programs would come out on DVD, and that when the next program comes out, maybe they're going to buy a challenge pack from you, and you're not going to judge them if they pause their order, or they have a financial burden and they prioritize something, dare I say, more important than Shakeology. Yes, it happens. And she really highlighted the fact that, like, wow, you're creating such a safe, beautiful space for people to meet you where they are. And I know we all have the ability to do that. So when I think about my coaches that are building to diamond and they see 4 or 5 inactive coaches and they make it mean, oh my gosh, I'm bad at this. What I want to encourage you guys with is you're creating a space for your coaches or your customers. While all in is great, it's great for some. It's great for some. When it comes to successful challenge groups and successful, building a successful coaching team, you're going to have a very small percent that's going to be sprinting. And you're going to have a very large army of people who are going to remain in that ordinary place, who buy Shakeology every so often or do a program every so often. And if we make it that if you're in or you're out and that's it, we're going to get, I don't think we're going to serve people the way that we can serve them. We're going to turn off potential business builders who could be elite coaches or superstar coaches someday, because in this season, maybe they could only be in for a little bit. And we're going to be stressed trying to control every single person in our back office. So I hope that gives you guys permission to keep doing what you're doing. So if we don't want, this is like, I can hear my coach in my head. She really kind of checks my thinking to make sure that it's aligned and that there isn't any dissonance. Like I was saying, we tell people, oh, I don't want to pressure you, but then we feel like we have to pressure them. And that's where we start to feel that tension. So if we don't want to pressure anyone to buy product, if we don't want to push someone into building a business, and we don't want to force anyone to sell or hit Success Club, don't do it. Don't do it. I think this to me is one of the most important things as a coach. I remember in all the sneak peeks and webinars and opportunity calls that I was a part of, and that what I was seeing other coaches share is like, you don't have to be a salesperson. You don't have to hit a certain number. You don't have to build a business if you don't want. You can work whenever you want. And then they would show up and they would do that, and then we'd get pissed off at them. Or we'd be like frustrated, but we were it was so imperative to me that, like, okay, this is what I'm saying, and this is the results that I'm getting, and this is what people are experiencing. So how can I say that and expect that and still achieve and still grow and still add to my team and still hit new goals when it comes to helping people and income and rank and elite and all of that amazing stuff? None of this is our business. That is the answer. If we don't want to pressure people, if we don't want to push people, if we don't want to force people, then what people think, feel, and do when it comes to their business are none of our business. So earlier on, this mind your business model works for people outside of the business, people who say your hair is blue, people who maybe think things about this industry or think things about what you're posting or think, crazy things about this workout that you're doing, but it also works inside your business because we're just bringing people from outside our business into our business. And I wish I knew how to control people. I know you guys do too. I'm here to tell you, unless you're like hypnotizing or brainwashing someone, I don't know of anyone on this earth who can control the thoughts that another person has and the decisions that another person has. So how can we accept this and move forward and stay out of other people's models. So here are the odds. Now, this is not empirically backed with some report that I have. This is kind of what I have seen in my coach office and what I've heard other leaders, share about their downlines and about their organizations. About 1 in 3 coaches, I'm going to start in the gray area. About 1 in 3 coaches disappear or cancel. Like, I'm not even talking like, hey, this has been amazing, thanks so much, exit letter, or even like show up and then cancel. Sometimes they just disappear and they decide, no, this isn't for me, I'm going to cancel, I'm not even going to say anything. And that's something that I definitely think we should expect when we're enrolling people without building a really strong relationship. There's a beauty to it. You can post things on Instagram and you can meet people very quickly, but don't take it personally if they quickly sign up and they quickly leave. I don't think it necessarily means anything, but I know every single coach that you look up to or that you learned from has had many coaches just disappear or cancel. I had a coach once who I was building her emerald graphic on Thursday to shout her out. And I was so excited the night before she signed up her second coach, and I went in my coach office to double check on Thursday, and she had canceled within like 12 hours of hitting emerald. I didn't even get to shout her out. And it's because she was freaked out and she was nervous and she was in her own model that wasn't about me. Now, another 1 in 3 coaches switch between active and inactive. Now, I think that is a beautiful thing. And when I think about, like I had said earlier, there's so many things when we get objections or we get misunderstandings about the way that the network marketing industry works. The first thing that I love is we don't have to keep inventory and then sell from that. The second thing I love is that people can switch on and off. We're not requiring anybody to purchase a certain amount of product in order to stay, and they can pay $15.95, and if they don't want to pay $15.95, they can cancel. And one thing that has really helped me in my thinking about this opportunity, which has helped me be more confident about sharing it and building my team, is I share the cancellation link in my welcome information. That way it's like, I'm transparent. I want you to be totally in control of what this journey means to you. I don't want you to be stuck in a business. I don't want you to feel, and anything that I was thinking that was kind of self-sabotaging, I thought to myself, how can I productively think about these things and build a model so that I'm going to feel empowered, feel like I'm trustworthy, feel like I'm acting in integrity, and then start to enroll because all of those things line up. And then about 1 in 3 coaches reach emerald or higher. So not even 1 in 3 hit emerald or higher. So that can, a majority, if you look at the coaches, like the income disclosure, most are emerald, then there's diamond, star diamond, and so forth. And so if we use my account as a demo, and I just broke this down for you guys, for those of you who are just building your business, you're like, what is this? I wanted to kind of show a visual representation of how this first section at the top is representative of your left leg, and all you have to do is look on the left and you'll see left right there. And then this is all the coaches on my right leg in this business center. Now what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna flip it, because as you start to set the goals for building your business to emerald and beyond, you're probably gonna see a diagram like this. And you're gonna start to see these bubbles and you're gonna fill them in. This is kind of the way that those two screens interface. So now that you know what I'm talking about, I want to talk you through an exact example of my business with these odds. So most coaches make this personal, okay? They sign up, this on my left leg, blue means active, gray means inactive. So it's really like, he loves me not. I'm a good coach, I'm a bad coach. Active, I'm a good coach. Inactive, I'm a bad coach. I don't know. I have gone through this, and sometimes, like I said, when I catch myself, what somebody does in my challenge group or my team. He loves me not. I'm a good coach, I'm a bad coach. I'm a good coach, I'm a bad coach. I'm making it personal. I'm in someone else's model. I'm not in my own. I'm trying to understand or project or control the thoughts and the decisions of somebody that's living an adult life. Like, that's something that I feel like needs to be reiterated. You have to be 18 to be a coach. So we're working with adults here who can make their own decisions. So when in reality, when you're looking at your diamond breakdown, it has nothing to do with us. So this person right here on my left leg who's active, they love, recover, and energize. That is why they are active. It is not because of my cover photo in my group. It is not because I had, I recorded this webinar or I have a six-pack. It is because they tried the product and they see value. I mean, if we go back to the model and we think about like the circumstance line, they want to buy the performance stack. That is the circumstance. And I can either make it mean I was a good coach this month, or I was a good coach when I sent them that email, or my email was good enough, or my training was good enough. And yes, sometimes those things are influenced, but the circumstance really is they want to buy, energize, and recover. The second example, the inactive coach, maybe they need to postpone their order. And maybe they need to postpone their order for a million different reasons. Maybe they need to prioritize paying off debt. And the excitement that they get, paying off that credit card at 24% interest is going to get them really, really excited to earn income in 6 months. But instead of pressuring them or feeling awful about yourself and quitting before they get excited to get back into the business, we make it mean something, and it really just means they need to postpone their order. Maybe this person is active because they just got started, and you know that energy when you buy a challenge pack and you're super excited and you're ready to rock. And maybe this person right here is inactive because they want to enroll without a challenge pack. I was that person. I paid the coach membership fees for 7 months without ever buying anything else. I just paid the coach membership, inactive, sat back, and I watched. And it wasn't until in my corporate career, I was told, you're not gonna get a raise until you get a higher degree, and your salary is tied to what degree you hold. I said, I have that 24% interest credit card, I need to do something, and bought an Insanity Challenge pack, and the rest is history. But that was my model. That wasn't my coach's model. Those were my thoughts, feelings, and actions. And so I hope that this didn't stop my coach from continuing to build her business. And instead, I hope that encourages her to continue to share and stay in her own model. So if I was to break this down, this is my actual sponsorship drill down in this business center. And this is what happens. This is what I see happen. You sign someone up on your left leg. It's probably your spouse, your mom. They know about it. This is not secret to them. They gave you permission to sign up, and they've been built to Emerald because that's an account that you have a strong connection to. Then you put a coach on the other leg, and they're like me, and they resist buying a challenge pack, and they're inactive for 9 months. But you don't stress about it. And then you sign up another coach, and after the first month, they decide, you know what, things are crazy right now with the pandemic, and I'm not able to take another shift at work, and I have my kids I'm homeschooling. I'm just gonna pause Shakeology for a month. And then you sign up somebody else, and they're like, I love this stuff, I'm in. But they're independent, right? Maybe they don't want to post in your challenge group. They don't want to be a part of things. And so what you have is really 2 inactive coaches, an active coach who doesn't add to the energy of your group, and your husband. And some people stop there. Remember that 1 in 3. And so what if you kept going? What if you signed someone up and then they stayed active? And then you signed someone else up and they stayed active? And then the next 6 coaches that you enroll, inactive, 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 in their own model, making their own decisions. They can cancel whenever they want, and they can restart whenever they want. And you're running your race around that track, and every single time you get to the start or the finish line, you give them an invite. Hey, are you ready this month? I can't wait to do this with you. We're doing 30-day breakaway. Any takers want to join? We're going to do an unstressed and personal development and Shakeology challenge. No pressure, whenever you're ready. Maybe you send out messages to your coaches. Hey, we're doing this. Would you like me to let you know next month when a group is available? Keep running your race around that track. Keep adding your second, your third coach, not taking it personally. Fourth and fifth coach, keep on going. And from there, what you start to realize is the decisions of people on your team in your drill down have nothing to do with you. They have to do with their thoughts, their feelings, their actions. They're the exact same circumstance. What if you kept going? Active, 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 inactive, inactive, emerald, inactive, active, emerald. And then that decision to hit emerald is their model. It's them seeing the circumstance of this opportunity. It's them seeing you run this race, thinking, hey, maybe I can do this, feeling empowered to join a national wake-up call, taking that action, watching you as you don't wait for them, and you keep building your team, and you keep working your model. So I decided to use another top coach. I kept her anonymous, but she is a multiple six-figure earning coach on my team. And this is her newest business center. And in this business center, there are 21 coaches total. 62% are active, 38% are inactive. It's important to note that the newer the business center, the newer the coaches that sign up. So they're probably just bought a challenge pack or very engaged. 80% are above, 80% are coach rank and 20% are above coach. So I just want to reiterate that to you guys. If you're looking at the same 4 people and saying, I must not be good at this because I have 50% inactive coaches or 30% inactive coaches or no one's emerald yet, I just want to encourage you guys, like that's not only normal, that's amazing. It's amazing that you aren't forcing people to buy a product they don't need, that you're creating space for them to decide to join a challenge group and reactivate their account when they're ready, that you're not stopping as you continue to run your race around the track and be proof the products work. And the people that you look up to, I mean, it meant so much to me to have that curtain pulled back and know, okay, if I'm struggling with a return, the person that I look up to the most has 10 times the returns. I remember at a summit breakaway session for Star Diamond coaches, Lindsay Matway was speaking, and I had recently actually had an elite coach cancel. She was making 6 figures. She was a 5-star diamond coach, and she left. And it just felt like, I remember crying to my husband saying, I'm not good at this. If I was better at this, she would still be here. I must not have been good enough. And sometimes you don't say it. Sometimes you just think it because to say it is too painful, but it still lingers in your head. And I remember Lindsay had said, she asked either us to raise our hand or just stand up if we've ever had a diamond coach cancel. I'm going to make sure. Okay. And I remember like the entire room was standing up, and she continued to say, okay, 2 diamond coaches cancel. Who has had 3 diamond coaches cancel? Who has had 4? Who has had 5? And you know how this goes. Person by person, they sat down and kind of was like a little bit of a badge of honor, but also mortifying to be standing up and having 10 coaches or 12 coaches and don't quote me, but I believe there were a few dozen diamond coaches that Lindsay had cancel or drop. Maybe it was drop diamond. And in that moment, I just realized I just have to keep doing what I'm doing and controlling what I can control. Now I want to close with this really quickly. This is something that I kind of wrote out for a coach who I didn't want to cancel, who canceled, but ultimately it's been the greatest gift because I cared about her so much and I wanted her to know the potential I saw in her. And I wanted her to stay, and I wanted her to understand that this business isn't about getting people to do stuff. It's about inspiring them. It's about inspiring them with your actions and showing them the way and leading by example. And she did end up leaving the company, but I ended up with this little something that I wrote that always I need to hear the reminder of, and so I wanted to share it with you guys. So what we cannot control. We cannot control if our coaches stay active, if our coaches care about our business, if our coaches care about our rank, if our coaches care about our team, if they believe in themselves, if they take advantage of the opportunity in front of them, if they do the vital behaviors, if they hit Success Club, if they invite to challenge groups, if they run challenge groups, if they convert customers to discount coaches, if they sponsor hobby coaches, if they build a team of coaches, if they hit Emerald, if they hit Diamond, if they become independent working leaders. No one can. There is no elite coach. There is no Emerald coach. There is no top coach that can control this. And this natural law applies to Melanie Mitro, and it applies to you. And we all get radio silence. We all get judgment. We all get coach cancellations. We're all misunderstood. We all have people who talk and don't walk. And what defines us is what we do next. You don't let go of your business. You let go of their business. When you can't control what is happening, challenge yourself to control the way that you respond to what is happening. How you think, how you feel, how you act, working that model. That is where your power is. We cannot control if our coaches stay active, but we can help more people and never worry about sponsoring the bare minimum. We cannot control if our coaches care about our business, but we can continually share our passion and our vision and work with new people who do care. We cannot control if our coaches care about our rank, but we can keep recruiting so that no rank is dependent on 1 or 2 or 10 people. It is dependent on our relationship and team building skills. We can't control if our coaches care about our team, but we can lead by example and set team culture with our actions and then find people who will. We can't control if our coaches believe in themselves, but we can show them what it looks like to believe in yourself and other people. And then we can let them rest on our belief in them when things get hard. But we can never be someone's self-esteem or vision. We can't control if our coaches take advantage of the opportunity in front of them, but we can take advantage of the opportunity in front of us. We can't control if our coaches do the vital behaviors, but we can show them how it makes us better to be doing these daily things. And instead of training them in the vital behaviors, let's live them. Let's show them what it looks like. We can master them and then come back to our team pages and teach what is working. We can't control if our coaches hit Success Club, but we can show them why it is so important to us by doing it no matter what. If we don't make it a priority and we are their future roadmap, why would they? We can't control if our coaches invite to challenge groups, but we can run team-wide groups to make sure that they are doing first things first, their health and fitness. We can't control if our coaches convert customers to discount coaches, but we can show them by doing it ourselves. In our consistent action, they will see why it is so important to offer that 25% discount to someone who is committed to health, not just for 30 days, but for life. We can't control if our coaches sponsor hobby coaches, but we can show them by pouring belief into our discount coaches and challengers and letting them know that they're already doing what coaches are doing and they can invite to our challenge groups and our team pages. We can't control if our coaches build a team of coaches, but we can show them why it is so powerful, fun, and a little bit selfish not to share this opportunity. We have the ability to change someone's health, finances, self-esteem, social life, and purpose. And while they don't want to pass it on, we can't help it. We can't control if our coaches hit Emerald, but we can hit Emerald over and over and over and over again to show them it's not a one-time milestone, but it is an activity level. We can't control if our coaches hit Diamond, but we can show them that we're not resting our future, our goals, our business, or our ability to change lives on their decisions. And they get paid more for the exact same amount of activity at that level. We can't control if our coaches become independent working leaders, but we can become one ourselves and show them what it looks like, how it is life-changing, and why we're not stopping anytime soon. But here are some things that you can control: your beliefs, your attitude, your thoughts, your perspective, how honest you are, who your closest friends are, what books you read, how often you exercise, the type of food that you fuel yourself with, how many risks you take, how you interpret situations, how kind you are to others, how kind you are to yourself, how often you say, I love you, how often you say thank you, how often you share your authentic self, whether or not you ask for help, how often you practice gratitude, how many times you smile today, the amount of effort that you put in, how you spend and invest your money, how much time you spend worrying versus working, how often you think about your past, whether or not you judge other people, and whether or not you try again after a setback. So what I would encourage you guys to do today and tomorrow and every day for the rest of this year, if not for the rest of your life, is just to mind your business. It's all that you can control. And when you do that, you'll inspire other people to do the same, and you'll watch all of it grow. So thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I appreciate your time. And I believe in every single one of you guys. Life is so much easier when you focus on controlling the things that you can control. So thank you guys so much.